interacting on the phone. This is me in person. Yeah. And so I just love us very cool today as we're having our training session. And we're looking forward to ensuring that through this training, we're going to obtain the level of growth that is going to assist us and aid us in everything that we're doing within our businesses at the end of the day. So I want to believe that earlier on when we came in, we were already getting acquainted with one another. We were talking and chatting, but we will still get to know more about each other along the way. As in terms of the structure of how the training will be done, Brother Gilbert is going to explain how we're going to run through everything. And so to begin with, we'll just open in a word of prayer. How we pray. Our Lord and our God, Father, we want to say thank you for today. We say thank you that you have allowed us to come in this place because we desire to grow in every aspect of our lives. And we pray that even as we have this training, may you give us the wisdom, may you grant us the understanding, and that mighty God, through it all, your name shall be glorified. Father, we pray and ask of all this in Jesus' name, amen. So I will not take up much of the time because I know we have already started late, and I'm just going to hand over to Gilbert at this point.
Great. Thank you very much. So good morning once more. How are we today? Good. All right. I'll kindly ask us to stand a little bit. We do one little exercise, please. All right. So our room does not allow us to maneuver properly, but we will do it from wherever we are. And what we're going to be doing exactly is that we are going to be introducing ourselves, and also, so you introduce yourself, you also tell us how you feel particularly today. So you could be Moses and you are feeling excited. You could be Anne and you are feeling joyful. You understand? But I will do it, we'll spice it up a little bit by, introducing in a little bit of more like a song in it. So we try to, take a dance. So we'll be doing this. That's very easy, right? Okay. Okay. So that's it. So we say jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out. So jump in, so jump out, jump in, jump out. So we'll start from me here, right? So you guys will say jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out. Then I'll start. My name is Gilbert Mwale, and I am happy. All right. So then it will go like that. Jump out. Yeah. Jump in. Okay. Jump out. Jump in. Awesome. Jump out. Yeah. Jump in, jump out. All right, great. Okay, so we know there are people who are excited. There are people who are interested, joyful, and we are all looking forward, right? We can take our seats. And I hope that wakes you up a little bit further if you are a coffee person. Yeah, you're a coffee person. All right, so today we'll start out, and I would like to simply say that thank you very much for taking this, bold step. One of the difficult things that we've seen over time, in the business space, is where it comes to educating yourself, growing yourself in knowledge, for you to be able to execute at the level at which you want. And therefore, you are amongst what we usually call maybe the 5%, 1% of people that are saying, look, I know what I want to do, and I may not completely know how to get there, and I want to go and find out how that looks like. And then you take that step to actually go and do that. So I want to congratulate you for that. And I would like to say that this training that we are doing at Agape Business Network, we are purely putting up a conversation of what is called, it is going to all border on the following statement. Working in is not equal to working on. So working in is not equal to working on. So when we are all said and done, what we would have wanted to achieve is that currently most of you are working in your business. And when we are done here for the next 2 months, is that we would want to have achieved the fact that you are able to begin to work on your business. That is our goal. So I'll go back on that one again to say that working in is not equal to working on. And our goal throughout these 2 months is to make sure that we assist you to shift from working in your business to working on it. And in the next 2 months, that is what we would like to achieve. And we'll endeavor to achieve that by making sure, first of all, we have a conversation on strategy, and then we'll look at the business systems. Then we'll shift then to look at things like, business numbers, and then we'll look at leadership, which also involves you. And then we'll then talk about issues to do with sales and marketing. And then finally, if we do get to move at the pace at which we would like to move, we may, talk a little bit about data-driven decision making. But that is, in the entirety, working in is not equal to working on. Our agenda is that you start working on your business. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. So I will start out with the first topic that we have on our table, and this is concerning strategic planning. And I want to ask a question. What comes to your mind when you hear strategic planning? I'll start here. I am still trying to wrap my mind around your name. Atanasio. Perfect. Atanasio. What comes to your mind? What comes to your mind when you hear strategy? Yeah. Definitely. That's a good one. Anna Margaret, what comes to your mind?
So like having a vision and then the strategy is a way.
Okay.
I mean, that's vision.
All right. Perfect. Let me just put my phone off from being cold. Okay, great. Awesome. So that we are both correct. There's a form of planning there, form of looking at the vision, and that's a definition right there. The process of simply setting business direction and defining goals that will help you achieve that business direction that you have set out. Now, it guides, one of the reasons why you want to have it is that, I'll use an example. Some 3 to 4 years ago, I've shared this before, my elder sister, after I had been in business. So she started out working quite early in her life, just finished high school, got an opportunity from one of the mines to start working, literally from, I think, casual worker until she got so high in the ranks, had been there for almost 10 years, and then decided that, you know what, I've seen my young brother, which is me. I studied, went to start entrepreneurship. They saw me being in there for almost like 4 or 5 years. So like, look, I think I've done this other side. I would like to come and try this other one. And obviously, it's because of some of challenges that she was having in the workplace. So she said, you know what, let me try something new. And at this point, she had already acquired, an MBA and the likes. So when she was coming out, now you would think that having gotten that kind of qualification, the pathway, you understand, the pathway to setting up enterprises and setting up businesses and all those things would be the easiest thing. But as smart as she is, that was not the case when it comes to business. So she reached out to me as a young brother and said, hey, I'm about to jump into business. What should I do? And I said one thing. I said, look, can you please write down what your plan is, okay, which is what people dread, which is the business plan. I said, write it down. And what my reason for that was, see, right now, you are so excited about what you want to go and achieve out there. But when you get there and the time, the rubber meets the tar, which is the tarmac, it becomes quite hard. And things start becoming illusional because issues arise that you didn't anticipate at some point. So I said, with people like you, what I've seen over time is that what will happen to you is once you have come out, you say you started out, you wanted to go into food processing. But I can assure you, within a year or two, you would have been down from Pulungu looking for carpenter. You would have been down to Tanzania looking for trousers. You would have been all over the place by the time it's a year down the road. So I said, because of that, please write down the document just for the sake of making sure that it guides you. It guides your decision making. When somebody walks up and says, hey, I found cheap trousers this side, you can easily say, I'm not into the trousers business. I'm glad that you found cheap product, but that's not my business. And if it's your business of selling trousers and all, then you go. But if someone comes and now says, I have found somewhere where we can buy groundnuts and sell the groundnut at a cheaper price, you say, I am not into groundnut business. Why is that the case? Because you have got something that is written down. When you are enticed, and I can assure you, you will be enticed so many times by several business opportunities that come along. That has happened to me 1,000 times. And the outcome is that it will contribute now to a long-term business. Now you see that word right there, long-term, not short-term only, long-term. If you are going to win in this game of business, you have to be in it for quite a long time. I've been doing business on my side for the last 9 years now. And we've been at the same thing, knocking on the same door, not just shifting how we are doing it strategically, but knocking at the same door the whole entire time. So for you to be able to have a perspective of looking at things over a long haul, there must be something that you have written down that helps you get anchored, to a particular direction and how you get things done. So to dig in deeper around this conversation of strategy, I would like us to look at a few areas. And these areas are specifically, on the part of vision. You mentioned vision. I want us to look at something to do with mission, as well as also the core values that a business runs with. And then we'll also look at standard of operations. Now, once we're done with that, then we will then talk about what could easily stand in our way of not achieving what we want to achieve. And what could help other things. But I want to make sure that we are all on the same page as we get on to other things, because there will be no point of us rushing to deal with creating a system for an organization or a business that will only last for 3 months. And then after 3 months, it shifts to from groundnuts, it has shifted to shoes, then it has shifted to this. Then so what will be the point of us building systems for such things? It is rather that, first of all, let's start with clearly agreeing that this is where we are going. And this is where we will be going for the next X number of years until we have concluded whether things are working or they are not. But before then, we must know that this is the direction we are going. So I would start out with, the component of vision, where we say, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Now, I'll go in depth over these things, 3 to 5 years, and we have reduced this number. In certain organizations, they have now even gone further down to about a year because of the change that is going on. The dynamism has increased due to the introduction of, technology. Technology has caused things to be shifting so fast that by the time you come on 10, 5 years, the things you were doing, and if you are doing them the same way, the plans would have shifted so much that somebody else next to you who's doing something similar to you is doing it way better and way faster. So you need to be thinking about shifting your direction and shifting the way you are handling things a little bit more at shorter term, even if you're looking at it that you're going to be doing it for a long term. So the goal is we will be dealing with groundnuts, but how we deal with them, we're going to be shifting that as quickly as possible. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, we must be looking at that. So that's what we are simply saying there. And I'll go in depth on it. And we'll look at the mission, then we'll look at the core values and the standard operations. And I would like to start here. So what problem are you exactly solving in the organization or in the business where you are? Madam Margaret.
So our business is inspired by conscious reflection of COVID.
Yeah.
That when you strengthen your immunity, you got better chance.
Yeah.
And in my generation, there was a lot of talk that a lot of people didn't have. But what one also learned that the ones that were affected because others had underlying problems, but if their way of life was organic and natural, it does not
yeah,
then the other students will. So and now we know before, like years back, it's been like cancer was like
yeah.
But the cancer hospital was now I can't say like manage it. And where that comes from, it's like a kind of that made me look at the way I was brought up in business. Didn't have all these kinds of find convenient people in this. And then it's just further research and building on the things what this is what we address lifestyle diseases. And these things are from here. So, but you need education to bring that up, because you realize how they can get them in help in kind of integrating.
Yeah.
So the problem that we are trying to address is the exponential growth of lifestyle diseases by trying to bring the value of fishes, they are nourishing and they are nourishing their planet. We do that in the field. So then what we do is process fish of food, because in its whole it takes too long to prepare. And that's why people need to go and fight so if we make these foods available, we process the food, deliver convenience, nutrition, we think we have something to offer.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much. Mr. Atanasio? Sorry? Okay. All right. So, but what we're going to do is that we are going to look at the businesses where we work, and even look at just any other organization that you're thinking of out there, and ask yourself that for every organization that you see out there, there are 3 parts that exist. One is the problem, which is here. Then secondly is the cause and the symptoms. So now, what happens is that a lot of us, like from what you've described, when you look at an organization outrightly, and if you find that the organization is making, I call it making a mistake. When it's making a mistake of actually dealing with symptoms, you see the above surface, you can see the symptoms of the problem. The symptoms are the hospital being full of cancer people, like in Zambia, which was never the case. So you see a lot of people going to the hospital, a lot of people, being taken out fibroids, a lot of people being taken out this and that, and you're wondering, oh, then you go like, okay, you know what? I think I'm going to quickly solve the problem of fibroids by creating a hospital that will take out fibroids easier and faster. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So you have looked at the symptom of growth in number of fibroids that women are experiencing. I hope we all know fibroids, right? Yes, growth in the number of fibroids. So you say that issue, I need to solve it. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to invest into building an institution that will have top of the notch systems to actually help do operations for women with fibroids faster. Okay. That's what you deem as the problem. But you are dealing with a symptom. And the problem with that then is that you will find that the people that will keep on coming, that issue will never end. You have just positioned yourself to not completely deal with the real problem. Because you have to go to the root cause of the issue and find out, like you have mentioned right now, to say, before I could, we realize that first of all, when we see people are getting sick and are struggling in hospitals and so, and the cancer hospital is getting full, we ask ourselves the question, why are they in there? And then you say, oh, lifestyle and food types. Are you following me? Lifestyles and food types. And then you say, if it is food types, then you ask the next question. So you must always probe. And this is where we usually have what is usually called the 5 whys. Is that when you see the symptom first time, ask yourself, why is the symptom there? Why is the symptom happening? And then once you answer the first why, which is to say that, why do women have fibroids? You answer that first why. Then you ask that answer that you just found another why. Why is that thing there? For example, why is the cancer hospital becoming full all of a sudden? You see, on one end, it could be a nutritional problem. On one end, it could be that people now have transport has become cheap. Yes, they just never had transport to get to the hospital. Do you understand me? So, are you seeing what's happening there? Is that there's quite several reasons that could then make the cancer hospital as a symptom full. There could be somebody who has all of a sudden started providing a free car. Do you understand? A free car to move people from the village all the way to the cancer hospital. And if you have not asked why is this institution full all of a sudden? Back in the days, there was nobody here. But all of a sudden, we're having 200, 300 people in the ward. Could it be also that they have become aware that there's a place we can go? Initially, they were dying by themselves hopelessly, but now they have become aware that there is somewhere they can go. And that place is only one place, so everybody finds themselves at one place. Is that making sense? Yeah. So if you do such kind of introspection on the business, is that it does not completely nullify what you're solving, but it helps you know. And this is when you're asking yourself questions around competition, who are your competitors and all those things. This is how you know, actually, because the one who's driving these people to the cancer hospital could then be actually sitting as a person who's actually helping these people. Now, you thought that by then providing your solution, there would be help, but there's someone else who's helping them in another way, and they actually appreciate that. So for them to shift from that other form of help to your help will cause, it will come with a little bit of extra work from you, because now they are saying, look, you are telling us that, for example, I'll give an example, like we are saying, like our solution here is, so we now have, a solution. Above here is simply answering the symptoms, but problem is down here, the causes are here. These are the ones that you want to make sure to pay attention to. You want to pay attention to the causes. What really is causing them to do that? And this is an issue that where you go to clients and you ask them, why do you do this? Why do you find yourself here and there? Why is it that you are always buying this kind of products? Why are you not buying that other product and you're buying that other one? And as you get those questions asked, then people will tell you exactly what is causing them to react in a certain way. The things you're seeing up here, what is actually causing them to do it? To do them or to do them in that way? Why do they have preferences? So this is what we usually call, where you go and understand your customer, understand the problem that they are actually experiencing. And when you're understanding the problem, you see the challenge that usually comes with doing that sometimes is that we want to justify our idea. How we start business a lot of times, most of us, is we start from a great idea, which is to say, I will create a phone. And once you decide I'll create a phone, and then you go like, who will need the phone? Do you understand? Who will need the phone? And then you start looking around and say, oh, you need my phone. And then now he's going like, no, but I don't need your phone. I have a laptop. No, but you need my phone. You know why you need my phone? My phone can do this, can do that, can do that, can do that. He says, no, but I can do all those things on my laptop. Do you understand that? No, but you need my phone. And suddenly you are not getting enough transactions that will sustain the growth and the sustenance of the business itself. Because you have to go on forcing people to agree that they need your product. Because you did not go to the root cause. Yes. Yeah. Yes. If you look at a business plan in its structure, is that it has a component where you must have done research. You must have asked a few people, what would you like? You know, how would you like it? And why do you choose this other one from the other one? You know, if it was like this, would you still get it? What would be your preference? How many times would you get it? You know, because all that information speaks into, you know, let me give you an example. If you ask somebody, would you like a TV? Everybody would say yes. But that does not completely answer you whether they would really buy the TV. So we usually move on a step further. Would you like a Samsung TV? And if they say yes again, then you say, okay, great. Why would you choose a Samsung TV from an LG TV? And if they tell you, then you say, fine. You say, what size of TV would you usually prefer? Then they tell you again, and then you say, so why would you prefer that size of TV? And they explain to you, say, I love to see things big, you know, and all such kind of things. Okay, great. Now, we have heard that you love a TV. We have heard that you love it as a Samsung. We also have heard that you love a big one. But now, what price are you willing to pay for that kind of big TV that is going to give you the nice view that you're looking for? Are you seeing that? So when somebody responds to you to say, you know, I'm willing to pay 4,000 kwacha. Now you know at the back of your mind that the Samsung TV, 65 inches that this guy is talking about, it actually is costing about 8.5. Then you already know that if you ask 15, 20, 30 people out of 100 people, 80 people are saying they would rather pay for that 65-inch 5,000. You know you shouldn't be getting into that. Because what's happening is that who are you going to be selling to? Yes.
What about, because the market is not
Right.
so where you then it's not the same, it depends how the something where you market.
Yes.
Because you could be asking people who can't afford it, but they ask.
So why didn't you ask the ones who can?
Like,
I actually understand your question and I love it. And that's why I'm saying that, you see, you have a responsibility as a business. You know, what you do not want to do when you're starting business is to be doing guesswork. So you must take in the responsibility to say, I am going to pick a few sets of individuals or groups of people who I am going to speak to. I will. So therefore, when you are creating the business plan, we ask you a question to say, who are you selling to? You understand? And you must never say in business that you're selling to everybody. There's no business model for selling to everybody. There is a group of people that you must be selling to. And the question is that group of people that you have planned to sell to, do they need, do they want in the model in which you're bringing your product? Is that how they want it, number one? In the price at which you're selling at, is that what they're looking for? So you must, and I love all that because I can see you are thinking, because you're going like, wow, I'm gonna do all those things. Yes, that's what business is, and that's the pain around starting a business, is that the more you planned, the more you took time to discover information about this person that you're going to be selling to, the product that you are creating, and all those things, the better it is when you go out there in less struggle in actually pushing that product out. Because my current rule, even nowadays, is that when you are actually having a product, you should be able to sell that product to individual people or to people, clientele, that should be consistently coming without advertising. In the first set of 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you should, when you create your product, it should be going out. You should have just walked into a place and say, hey, I actually have this product. And this person you're talking to, you have become so laser focused. You have become so clear around exactly who is it that actually usually gets my product. That to a certain degree, I even say that you have the capacity to even fire clients that do not qualify to be your clients. Because that is very cardinal. If you don't differentiate that, it means that you don't know what the product is supposed to be solving. Therefore, you are willing for anybody to show interest in it. You are willing for anybody to want to buy. Now, I'll come to your product, Madam Margaret, which is a health conscious food. So you have to ask the question, do you usually care when you're buying food, what you are eating? Now, you would desire that we do. That's the difference. Do you understand that? You would desire, as the owner of the business, you would desire that all of us in the whole country, in the whole world, we should be concerned about what we are eating. But the truth of the matter is that not all of us do. And well, it could be or not. There are people that know all the benefits that come with different food types, but they still choose to drink what is not right. So, you spending 3 hours trying to explain to this person why they should buy your product is a sign that you have not come to understand who your customer is. Are you following me? Yes. So your responsibility as a business person is to simply understand what are the causes that are making my client move in a particular direction. And when you understand them and you define the problem they're experiencing, based on the symptoms that you are seeing out there, then you'd say, you know what? This is the actual issue that I am dealing with. And this being the actual issue I am dealing with, I know what kind of people actually are experiencing this. So whenever you enter somewhere, any place, any room, the first things you say is what completely defines what your product is looking for. So even when you hear somebody speak, you know, this one is not my client. This one is my client. And if you say the few things and the way they react, you know, this one is not my client. This one is my client. Can you imagine, even for a store? I'll give you an example. For us, for example, at Team Seeker, one of the companies that I run, is that we have a shop. But do you know that that shop, a shop that is supposed to be selling agricultural inputs, you know, the old chicks, feed, vaccines, and all such kind of things. Do you know that that shop, there are some people who are actually not targeted by it? There are people that we don't expect in our shop. There are people that if we saw coming into the shop, we are almost thinking to say, we are not going to sell to that person. Do you understand that? Because we have come to understand what kind of person should actually be procuring from our store. And then this is not a segregation of saying levels in terms of, you don't meet our level and anything like that. No, in fact, it could actually be a big client who we are actually not accepting. You understand? Because we have realized that this does not define exactly the problem we are solving. And over time, in the interim, in that moment, they may look like an amazing transaction. You understand? But over time, the kind of repercussions you would have, mostly with the wrong client, I call them the wrong client, are far much worse. Are far much worse. So you must become very clear over this issue here. So this then brings us now into the conversation of creating a vision and a mission and the rest. And I'm going to use, when we talk about a vision, I think most of us, let me ask us, let me not quickly rush. Anyone who wants to tell me what comes to your mind when you hear a vision? Back to Atanajo, because you passed the previous one. What does the word vision bring to you? Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, and I agree. So really, vision, as we usually like using it to say, you have a poor vision, not from the angle of the future, but usually we look at it from the angle of seeing. Can you see anything? Now, when it comes to the spiritual side of things, is that we believe that man is made out of three parts: the spirit man inside, his soul, and his body. So the spirit man, his soul, and his body. Now, we have physical eyes, which is what we use for those who are not visually impaired, you can see. Now, the same way you can see with your physical eyes, you also have eyes of your spirit, which can also see, which is what we actually usually refer to here as vision, or what we usually refer to as imagination. So I love a scripture in the book of Ephesians, chapter 3, verse 20, which actually says that God is able to give you exceedingly abundantly above what you may ask or imagine. So you can ask God for it, or you can imagine it, and God says you will do exceedingly abundantly above that. Now, we have been so much on one side, asking. But God also says, have you been imagining things? And it is the imagining that helps us also create. So when we imagine, we speak. When we imagine, we speak. So I'm going to speak around that issue of vision. Now, on the issue of vision, the question is exactly what you said. What picture? So vision brings the word picture. It brings the word seeing picture. What picture do you have? So now, on that note, what picture do you have concerning, like you said, your client? If you are going to solve this problem that you have discovered, solve the problem, not create product. If you are going to solve this problem that you have discovered for a group of people somewhere, right? Not if you are going to create this product for a group of people somewhere. And I'm reversing that on purpose because a lot of times, like I've said, we start with the product first, and then we decide who is going to need it. But we must start with a problem first. What problem are people facing? Exact people, what problem are they facing? Once you understand that, and you found that they are willing, now I'm speaking to people who are running for-profit businesses. Now, and if it's a for-profit business, you have to, two things must be answered. The problem you have discovered, people must be willing to use it, and they must be willing to pay for it at the price that is going to make your business profitable. Is that correct? Yeah, that's a for-profit company. So If you have found a problem that is like that people are willing for you to solve it for them at a price at which is going to be profitable for you, then you go ahead and do that and solve that problem. Now, when you're solving that problem, comes the issue of vision, which is now to say, if they use your solution, right? How would their lives look like? What do you envision? What do you see? What picture comes to your mind after that everybody who is supposed to use your product has used it? How do things look like for them? Now think about it. It could be 5 years down the road. It could be 10 years down the road. Imagine everybody that you have solved a problem for. The solution for the problem you have seen that people are willing to pay for at a price profitable to you, and they use it over a period of time, 5 to 10 years. How would people look like? Stretch it 20 years, 30 years down the road. How would these people look like if they have used your solution? Is that helpful? And this is why I like this version of, I know we can write, our visions in different ways, but I love this one now because it helps create some certain level of practicality in what we see. Do we have our colleague from both in? All right, Mr. Kamineo, Kimaneo, are you there? I think the earphone. Need to remove it.
Oh, yes, sir, I'm here.
Are you following well?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right, great. Any questions so far?
Not yet.
All right, great. And you can see the screen, right?
No, sir. I can just see people who are on the meeting, but
I think the screen was not clear.
Yeah. It's now up.
All right, great stuff. So
thank you.
We'll proceed. And I was simply talking about the picture, in terms of what are we seeing? So you solve a problem not because you just feel like making things or you just feel like selling something or, so there's one component where people decide what they're going to do in business based on a financial opportunity. But what I've seen is that over a long period of time, that model gets to throw you around different places. But when you find a problem and you say, I will solve it, and you realize that when you do the mathematics of solving it, is that it does give you profitability, then I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question now to say, what do you see? The people, what do you envision? What's the picture about the people who have used your product, your service? How is their life looking like? What's their environment looking like now that they have used your service and your solution? And this is 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road. So if you look at, for example, in the case of what we are doing here right now with Agape Business, is that we are saying that we see believers from all nations called to business, thriving and giving generously to God's kingdom work. So what we are saying there is that once we have done all this, we have trained you today and trained you next year, trained other people next month, consistently training different types of people, is that over time, there is a set of believers from all nations. Right now, we have someone from Botswana. We also have people here in Zambia, and we had people from Mozambique and Malawi and several other different places. When every one of those ones has participated in all this training, then wherever they are when they're walking 5 years, 10 years down the road, for us, we would then say that these are the people out there that are able to actually thrive. They are running their businesses, they are thriving, and they are equally giving to different causes that come with their business. So this is exactly what we are talking about. What do you see? So hypothetically speaking, with what you are currently doing as a business, right? What do you think? How do you see the people? What is the outcome? Where would people be 20 years down the road if all of them have received your help as a business? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's a good one, and that is true. So if you are giving them good products and any of those things, you're also then saying, I'm just going to add something there, that it is possible that if they had poor quality products, clients would leave them. But because they have got quality products, clients love them. So you can then say that we actually see our partners having consistent and loyal clients. Are you saying, why is that the case? Because you on the back end are making sure that you're giving them products that are high quality, that people end up loving afterwards. So this is the picture, this is the angle or the direction from which, the view. How do you see things? How do you see the beneficiaries? If it's organizations, to be specific, like in your case, if it is people directly themselves that are using your things, what would be the case? Now, you could also then look at also the perspective to say that they would also be healthy. The end users of your clients' products, they would be healthy. So you're also passing on, a component of health to the nation. We see a healthy nation. Are you following me? Why do you see a healthy nation? Because your partners that bought from you bought quality products. Those are things that you see. So when you see that, the goodness with being able to aspire to see something is that as you are walking around everywhere outside there, when you think of anyone who's buying products that are involving you, then you are then saying, I am working to see how every one of these people is going to have a better life. Is going to have a better life. So that's how you should be looking at it. Here's another example from Hobby Lobby, an American company doing amazing work. They say Hobby Lobby's vision is to save employees and their families and to invest in the community. So this is how they write it. And this is also how so many other people have written their vision statement. But I've indicated that the one I love more as a model is the one on top, not because of just like in the sense of what I have written here concerning us, but rather the style of writing. The style of writing. I know this one is short, but the style of writing where you actually say, I see the following thing, is that it helps you say that whether, and by the way, you are saying this statement while there's currently either the opposite that is in existence. Do you understand? Because you are saying you're coming to solve a problem. And when you solve the problem, is that for the problem that currently exists, everybody's life would have changed, it would have transformed, and they would look like this. Is that clear? Yeah. So please take note of that component. Please go ahead. Yeah. Yes. That's the case. I mean, it's the reason why we had to run interviews, for example, for people to be in here today, because not everybody who says they are interested in doing something actually fully should be doing it. And there are several factors you can quickly look inside there that determine who should be. Because sometimes people actually, so like, for example, I'll give you an example, like for this training, our interest was that somebody must be able to attend, number one. And when they attend, is that they should also be able to do two things, attend and do, and then give us feedback of what you're doing. Now, would you agree with me that there's somebody who's not willing to do this thing out there? They may enroll, but they're not willing to be there physically or to attend. They may want to attend sometimes or not attend. Then there's somebody who but doesn't want anyone to counter-check or have accountability on what they have done. Would you agree with me that there's somebody who does not fit all these things? You and Madam Margaret is so shocked. And I want to remind you, Madam Margaret, that I know even us, we wish everybody was like that. We wish that everybody was willing to do this. Do you understand me? But the weird situation out there is that there are people who don't meet all those criteria. And we discovered that even as we were having interviews, and we had to tell them next time. This is besides all the other criteria. Are you seeing that? This is just on these three things. So the issue that comes, we have learned over time that if we do not pay attention to these three things, what will happen here is a conversation and off they go. And when off they go, they will then deem that all trainings don't work. When it's a habit they need to break. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So when the question is coming, I think you can turn on this one. Yeah.
So the question is, would you rather have a few good customers than a large number of bad customers?
Okay. All right. Great.
My question is, like, is that a customer or not? I mean, what is a bad customer?
Bad customer is the one that does not fit your profile. The one that doesn't fit.
It's not a customer.
Yeah, you can also call them not a customer. But in most cases, they usually come as though they want to buy also. Yes, in the interim, they want to come and they want to buy. Now, you need to be the one that knows what's the profile of the one that you want to buy. Are you following me? And that's what he's calling a good customer, is the one that you want to buy. And I'm sure if you look back in your business life so far, there are some clients that have given you a serious headache. Like there are clients who have been so nice, like they have transacted, and there are others that transacted and then they have given you serious headache. It could be in different ways. It could be in your payment, receiving your payment. It could be in how they talk back to you. It could be how they also, appreciate your products or not. Are you seeing that? And if you look at all these things, you will find that the ones that purchase a lot, sometimes they are the ones who are very quiet. And the ones who are actually giving you that other thing, there's something about them. And if you provide it properly, you realize that you can actually get a category for them. You would know them now when they come. Are you following me? When they come, someone else in the same behavior, when they come, you will say, oh, this one looks like those are that did X, Y, Z. And sorry to say, but you will need to be able to categorize them and say, this one work with caution. This one transact easily. This one don't even transact. Are you following me? Yeah. So I think I labored concerning the issue of, the answer is very simple there is yes. If you can get a few clients that are legit consistent and are rightly doing transactions with you well and are happy. I'll give you an example. There are clients who will buy something from you, right? And not want anybody to know that you exist. Are you following me? They bought something from you and they don't want anyone to know that they got it from you. Now, what's nice about that? Because now it means that their friend won't know that you exist. Other people, their neighbors won't know that you exist because all they want to do is just buy from you silently and off they go for reasons that you do not know. So there's another client who comes. When they buy from you, they go tell everybody, man, these guys have got this amazing thing. They have an amazing thing. Already right there, there's two different types of people. You need to find out why are the two of them behaving like that. And therefore, because you see the problem without providing this is that you end up actually incentivizing the wrong person when it's time for incentivizing. You want to give a bonus, you want to give an appreciation, you give to both. Why? Why are you giving to both? Give to the person who has been beneficial to you in the order of that transaction, because they also were able to share out with other people. So I wanted to just help you there understand that further, but we can always talk about it more. But writing vision, I prefer, so I was giving to Madam Margaret two perspectives here, that Hobby Lobby writes that vision statement like this: quick, short, sharp, shiny. Hobby Lobby's vision is to serve employees and their families and to invest in the community. I love this, but I have come to love this not because, I'm not talking about our vision specifically, I'm talking about the style of writing it, where you say, I see, or we see. The reason for that is that currently, the status of things are in a bad shape. Are you following me? Right now, the hospitals are full, people are dying of unknown diseases and stuff like that. But you are saying, we see people who are healthy, not needing the hospital unnecessarily. Are you following me? The question is why? Is that because you know that they have dealt with you. So what do you see about Zambians in the next 10 years concerning their health? Some people may not die early, right? Because they are eating right. So no broken families. So the parents are there, they live long. The children are there, they live long. That's something you see. I see a country whose life expectancy has grown and is up at 90 years. Do you know that? That's what I see once people are working with me. So you don't have to say, because they're using us and stuff like that. No, just simply saying what you see. As a result, you know it as a result of working with you that you see these things. So now when you're walking around, you will no longer be dealing with people the same way, because you realize that you have seen them already, these ones, get to a certain place because of you. That's your vision. Your mission then becomes an example of our mission is winning people to Christ, empowering people, expanding God's kingdom through entrepreneurship. Now, there's something interesting about this which differentiates it from the vision. Is that the vision says we see. Mission is what are we going to do? What do we do? What do we do to get to the vision? So vision is longer term based. 3 years, 5 years, even 20 years actually. In fact, I would actually even dare tell you to say that a vision, you should never be able, as the actual person who set it up, completely be able to achieve it. It should be so big that even people behind you who are joining you, they are just joining the bandwagon. And you may end up leaving the face of the earth. Maybe not having solved everything on the vision. Are you seeing that? Because it's giving impetus to other people behind you to go and achieve it. So, but the mission is shorter. The mission speaks strongly to the objectives, the areas that you are going to be doing something that is going to be able to lead to the vision. So we are saying from our side that if we win people to Christ, if we empower people and expand God's kingdom through entrepreneurship, we would then be able to see what we see here. As we do that on a consistent basis, people will get to this view that we are looking at here. Another example of Miracle Life Family Churches, they say they share in Christ, they are maturing believers and changing the world. Now, the interesting thing with this is that they have, like for vision, some people, and this is why I was giving you an example here to say, Hobby Lobby wrote one statement for the vision. We have written 4. Other organizations have written vision. If you put it out like this, almost like 17 statements. Are you following me? Because that's what they see. Now, once they have done that, this is all they had. 3 statements, 3 things that every day when you go there to their institution, they are working at doing that. They are working at doing that. So they have programs and activities and events and everything that just align with these 3 things. If nothing doesn't align with this, we're not doing it. So that is the mission perspective. So longer vision, 30 years, 40 years. But what do we do? What are the actions? That is why there's these words like winning, teaching, training, providing. Are you seeing that? Providing XYZ. Those are the key words that you find under what do you call it? Under missions. Another area that I find very, very critical is the area of core values. Now, I wish I could spend a longer time around core values, because if I was to submit and begin to say that almost all Zambian businesses have their vision and their mission, and whether they have written it correct or not, for me, is neither here nor there. But it is this guy here, the core values, that it makes a lot of them behave differently from what the owner planned it out to be. If you have an institution where the owner wants to go this side and everybody else in the organization is going this side, it's caused by this guy. Core values. Now, I have also realized, because I also started a business 9 years ago. And in that time, I had written in my business plan my vision, my mission, and my core values. And I thought to myself, break? Okay. 5 minutes time, we go on a break. So this issue here of core values, when we started out in our business, we wrote our business plan, vision, mission, etc. We threw it behind. We moved on. Just going about doing what is in there, but nothing to do with this. Now, what begins to happen is that if you have lazy employees, for example, in your team, or you are the one who's lazy, or you have people who are just like, you don't understand, like these things that you do at work here. What is this? And then our problem that then you see is that you wonder, like, for example, like, why are you doing that? And every time you have to correct them from the back. Oh, why? Stop doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. And then another second one is where every time they have to call you to ask you over what to do, or you have to call your boss. Every time, like there's something you need to do, you have to call them. Hey, now the client is standing here now. Are you? But I've also employed, but that's a job. Like, why are you calling me? It's because people in the team don't appreciate the core values. And it's also because they're not being explained, they're not being discussed, and they were written for fun. I call it for fun because just to fulfill a document. Are you seeing that? Yeah, they were written for fun. But let me pick this up from Doc Rosius. He mentioned something interesting. He said that core values are the wheels. If the vehicle of the vision is the full body vehicle, the body of the vehicle, right? Is the mission. Then the wheels of that vision are the core values. They are the core values. Whether you get there, whether you get there with the vehicle. So the vision you can see, the vehicle, the body is the mission. That's the one we're saying how, the how of how we're going to get things done. How are we going to achieve the vision is through the mission, right? But whether the mission is going to be carried along and executed, the core values are in charge. And I dare also add now here that core values create company culture. Yes. Any culture in an organization was born as a result of either the absence of a culture of core values, or the presence of core values, or the presence of core values which were not used. Now, you may say the following. Let me give you an example. So these are the core values for Agape, just as an example. So let's say you have a problem with your team members. They have a tendency of not telling you what is going on. Are you seeing that? You would desire that everybody tells everybody what is going on, but nobody does that. You always have to call them. Hey, what is happening? What happened? What happened there? Okay. It could be that you either lack a core value for communication. Follow me. You lack a core value for communication. Or you could have it. It could be there. But what you have not done is enforced it. You have not created the things that are going to make this core value of communication be enforced. Now, once you have created those things, what will happen is that people would not need to be told, but when they are arriving in the organization and you explain to them the importance, and you make them follow through certain processes and activities around that communication, is that they'll begin to do it without you calling them and texting them and any of those things, because they know it's a core value. And if a junior employee calls them and says, should we be communicating? They don't have to call you. They consult who? The core values. They consult the core values. Decision making in an organization should not come from the owner of the organization. It should come from core values. The core values should decide. Let me show you something interesting. I have 2 team members in one of my other organizations. And the 2 team members, one is the supervisor of the other one. Are you following me? So there's somebody that was complaining, to me one time, and they complained to say, how do you avoid chikwera, with employees? I will translate that. How do you avoid familiarity with the employees, where they find you and then they want to become your buddy, and there is a style of running organizations or leadership, which some people in leadership come and talk about, where you are a boss and no one talks to you, no one messes up with you. Don't have fun with team members and the people in the organization. You can't have fun. I mean, if I have fun with you, you stop respecting me. Are you seeing that? Those organizations, their problem is that the owner is the rules. So he's concerned as the owner that if you become familiar with the rules, then you will not respect the organization, which is him. But if you separate yourself as the owner and you separate the rules on how everybody must behave in the organization, you put it into core values, and you decide to enforce the core values. When people, as an example I was giving right now of one of my team members, the one which is supervises the other one, and the one who is junior to him, is that the one who is junior to him, when I arrive at the office, I actually go and see him where he's seated. in the warehouse, and I chat with him. Hi, how are you doing? And how are things? How's everything? How's the family? How, you know, how's all those things? How's work here coming on? So good, man. I like what you're doing here. Oh, good stuff. Or anything he wants to think. Then, because of my ability to chat with him like that, he sees an occasion once in a while and says, "But boss, I wanted to ask a question." I said, "Yes. Is there a potential for me to, you know, like get a raise? You know, like can I get extra money and stuff like that?" In that moment, I remember, I go like, "Oh no, you're talking to the wrong person." Do you understand? You're talking to the wrong person. Why? Because we have got core values, and in the core values, there's structure. You understand that? There are people, there's a person you have that conversation with. I just came to say hi. I just came to see you and chat with you and see how you're doing, and that's about it. The rest of what you want to deal with, depending on what it is, has a channel in which it follows and people that you deal with because of the core value. Another time, one of my colleagues is having a situation where they have to decide there's a transaction that has come that is not sitting in rightly. And they are thinking to themselves to say, so when they call me after they have gone through all trainings, they call me now to say, "Sir, there's this issue going on here concerning these animals. What should I do?" My response is usually, what do the core values say? What do our core values say? So meaning that the core values must be a living part of the document. They should not be changing every week or every month, but year on year when you're doing your annual review, review them. Why? There could be a core value here that is missing called urgency, you know, being urgent, you know, being quick. You see that? So along the year, if we realize that because urgency was not added as a core value, people work at their own pace. Are you following me? So you going around telling people, you should be fast, you should be fast, you should be fast, as your own words begins to sound to people as though you are picking on them. Are you following me? But when you get that at the end of the year and write it here, urgency, we always work fast and quick. You put it here. And then now, when the meeting begins, you say, what are our core values, people? You write them on the wall there. Are you following me? And then when someone is slow, when they are wasting time and all those things, you don't start saying, hurry up, hurry up. No, no, no. You say, my friend, do you see that core value there? What does it say? And we must be quick and urgent because our clients need to get this food warm. Are you following me? We need to deliver fast. Now you see, other people have core values. They will put a core value here called fast, which means they do things quick. They do things quick. But in doing things quick, they have mistakes. Are you seeing that? The thing they did quick, when you review it, it has mistakes. What do you get there again? Problems, right? When you reach end of the year, you must review that. When you found a lot of defects in your output, but you are producing them very quickly, then you must address the defects by changing the core values or adding a core value, which says quality. Are you following me? Quality. So now you have got two. You have got fast and quality. So now you tell everybody, follow the core values. The core values are saying, now you see, if you find in your organization, people are quick. Have you ever seen organizations, the way organizations like, for example, Airtel, MTN, you know, people are just, you know, are in this frenzy of excitement and go and read the core values. Go and read the core values. You will see fun and exciting place and all those things. That's what they are living with. Healthy, whatever, you will see. They are having those gymnastics going on outside. You think those gymnastics just showed up because somebody felt like doing a gymnastics on that day? No. It's a core value. It's a core value that they are using to say we need to be healthy. Therefore, not only should we eat right, but we should also exercise. So everything trickles down. So I'll allow us to go on I think we're just preparing the break there. I'll allow us as soon as it's done. Now, here is the standard of operations. Now, these are not SOPs. These are not standard of operating. These are standard operations. So once you have done the core values, you need to say, for example, for each core value, what are you going to be doing in the organization to do it? Yes, the core value you have listed, what are you going to be doing to do it on a consistent basis, day upon day, week upon week, month upon month? What are you going to be doing? So in this example here, as we are seeing on the screen, on the right-hand side here, we say that we have got a core value called God-fearing, right? This one, God-fearing, core value, God-fearing. So we are saying that we are scheduling an activity called scheduled Bible and prayer time. Are you following me? Bible and prayer time. What is it? It's 15 minutes. We only just dedicate 15 minutes every morning for prayer and devotion. When will this happen? Occurrence. It will happen daily. Now, if we are saying we are God-fearing, then wouldn't you say then that either that is whether it is daily or 2 times a day or once a week, it represents our action towards the core value. Number 2 is innovative. We are saying we're innovative. I'll also read something else. Engage a spiritual mentor. So we are telling everyone in the team, have someone who's spiritually mentoring you. And in so doing, you are responding to God-fearing as a core value. And we are saying that this you should be doing 2 times a week. We go to support church and community causes. We are saying, for example, we go around that sometimes to go and help a church somewhere with a program and all those things. That action we are doing there, when you find us in the mud of whatever, what are they doing? Do you know what are they doing there? We are responding to a core value. And this is why I say that if you feel people in your organization are behaving differently from the way you want them to behave, it is because of the core values. They have created a culture of their own. It's either because you did not give them one, or they are either rebellious. And if they're rebellious to the culture, by the way, let me add something there. This is this is why I like saying that I don't usually, the first qualification I hire an employee for is their capability to suit the culture than their skill. Yes, I start with attitude. Attitude first, skill second. What do I mean by attitude? Attitude, I gauge you, I weigh you. Can you be able to assimilate our culture? We will train you the rest. Are you following me? Eh? Are you envisioning somebody, Madam Margaret?
You know, it's quite interesting that what you've said so far, explains to me that my operations isn't going the way I want it to.
Yeah.
Because these details are not there.
Yeah.
But I have them.
You have them.
So you have to do this.
Yeah, you did do that. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's...
No, but we're here. And by the way, our interest is not to inform you about them. Our interest is that you do them, is that you create these things. So you are going to create them. So when you are done, things are not in your head. And I'm telling you, I know a lot of people who lead are frustrated because of the fact that they are the ones that know what needs to be done. Everyone else doesn't. So the other people, they are literally figuring out, no, not this one. And then what happens? It hampers innovation. Because people begin to become scared because they think, is this right? Is this not? That's why they ask you everything. Madam, should I put 2 spoons now? Madam, should I put now 5 spoons? Madam, should I also pour five bottles of water? Okay, madam, what about, you can't go to rest because everything is in you. But when you have created designs and things like this, you have to tell them, look, my friend, what does in our innovation say? Our innovation says we do brainstorming sessions. Whether I'm there at the office or I am not, you are the three of you. Do the brainstorming session. Are you following me?
Yes.
So this is no longer about me. This is whether I am physically there or I am not there. We do brainstorming sessions. Why are we doing that? We gather employees and stakeholders to discuss new ideas and improvements. So that thing I always think, so why don't you guys think about anything new, like something? Yeah, because they have got no way, no one has taught them that they should do it. Are you following me? So for innovation to happen, they should gather, whether you came to work or whether you're in the meeting or not, because you have set a rule that this should happen twice a month. And then you say research and development. Go around reading around things. Go around doing all those things. Your operation is encouraged. Now, I will show you something. This should be ongoing. Demo projects, try something new. I know we are already making beans, which is boiled. But while we are making that one, when you have got some free time, try another one, beans, which is fried. Are you following me? You try by yourself. Do like a demo. Get little. You create room out of all the bag of beans that is there. Create room for 10% of the beans to give them to say, this one you can play with. Do whatever experiments you can do. Why? Because we are trying to innovate, to create another product that doesn't exist. For organizations where you are procuring commodity, you are then saying, look, we will put up maybe just 3,000 kwacha for people to buy other items. Like we know we're always buying groundnuts, but we'll leave 3,000 kwacha. If you do find something interesting out there that you find that there's people are looking for it, you can buy it without calling the boss all over the place. All those things, we have put it on there because we're trying to see, is there another commodity that may be doing better than the groundnut that we're already doing? There's somebody that said this, and it touched me. They said that I was working in a company and the CEO was leading us. And he said the company was a very good company, but it died out of not making money. And he says, but we, the employees, we knew what could have been done to solve the problem.
So they hadn't been given space to be able to put those ideas forward.
Yes. And you see, the space needs to be controlled. You also can't also just give space anyhow. It needs to be controlled, and this is why you're doing all this. You're saying, innovation, I'm allowing you to do what you want. But out of the 50,000 kwacha that I've given you to buy groundnuts, don't start doing innovation with the whole entire 50,000. Because you lead us into complete trouble. But I'm saying from the 50,000, get 45 or 48 or 47,000, spend it on what we already know is working. Get the other part there, it's valuable. You can do some other items. When you find pumpkins, you find whatever, buy them, come and resell them here. Let's see if that will do better than the groundnut. And if it does, then we will go back in there now and now go and buy pumpkins. That's how innovation happens. At Google, for example, what they have done is they have given all employees 2 hours in a day, 2 hours in a day to do whatever it is that they would like, not work on their work, to just have fun, just play with something. And that is why you check now, Google has thousands, 2,000, thousands upon thousands of innovative ideas, things that they are starting. Gmail that we use for our emails was not started by the two owners. The owners of Google are two. But Gmail was made on somebody who none of us here even know who it is. I only found out about that person maybe 15 years later that he even was an employee who made Gmail. And Gmail is one of the biggest anchors of that organization. All right, our break is ready. We may proceed. So we have 5 to 10 minutes, right? Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Please. Take off the flash. Turn off the flash. And then, but I'm inside.
Have you trying to?
Very quick. As lips. But this is okay. Yeah, I see okay. But I feel like because of the flash, it's taking long to take a picture. Eh?
Yeah, but when I want to capture it,
Yeah. Flash is really up. There should be an automatic flash somewhere. Wait, I don't know. Check it on Google.
Change, we can eat this along. No, I'm just, I don't want to eat it. When I can. It's very interesting, you know. Also, I think those three things we're talking about. Somebody might want something, they don't really do something.
Yeah.
But then my question is, then do you really want to do this? Because nothing kind of drops from heaven. You have to do effort.
Yeah.
So, and I also interested in how you do a lot of packages. No. But you know, the pieces from that of the activity that's supposed to be your program. Because you don't have a way of implementing or engraving that But so then I'm thinking like domestic, you need to have something like that. Because you know that I believe in it. There's a trade like but then there was one girl who really recommended. But that same day, I saw the attitude. I said, lunchtime, here's the money for having customers. I just put this kind of attitude. So, I mean, I see that that's expanded with that. So, how do you assess the attitude? Whenever you allow it.
Round break. Yeah.
one thing that
Yeah. I mean, that's why I said it's hard because that is why I said some people will come and listen and that is why we were trying to vet so that we don't have that kind of, where you're going like, my God, this thing is that lot. Yes. So sometimes I sit down and I see it even with the nannies, like I've mentioned, like the helpers at home. Yeah. I can assure you, the biggest problem why we all have challenges with nannies is really because for different reasons. And I'll give you one. For their lack of literacy and all those issues. So if we cannot manage to design that stuff for them. But I will tell you that the biggest reason why I was just telling him, we'll be changing nannies. The reason why we do that is because I see it, you were saying, oh, what do I do? Because let me show you, the moment you just say, no, now this is like 1 month down the road. No, that's not how you mop. You get it? That's not how you mop. You should be mopping like this. Just know that it's your fault. It's not the nanny's fault. No, that's not where you do that. That's not every time you are saying that, just point the finger back at you. That you are the source. Then the fact of issues of stealing and stuff like that, yeah, those are things you should have gotten to deal with as they were entering. Yeah, when they were entering, because those are those are behaviors. So you should have checked those attitudes. That is why I'm talking about core values. So the core values, you want to check when you're doing an interview of someone, you are checking the core values against what this person believes, whatever, all those things. Because one of the ones I will tell you that is not easy to deal with is someone's, for example, how can I put it? What we call character, which is what I was calling their attitude. And the attitude is born out of behaviors. So, and those are created by environment. So usually that is as a result of, what do you call it? Like what is in the environment? Even issues to do with their religious activities and all these things. It forms their environment, creating their character, creating their attitude. Yeah. So now when you are seated in the workplace and you're trying to get things done, and when at the beginning you knew when they were coming in that this is what they do, this is how they do it, this is what they believe in, and all these things, and you thought that you would shift all that when they enter. You are wrong. You will find out that your organization and these are people, they can even come in, and there are people who are so much strong culture themselves that they shift your culture, at least for as long as you have not yet fired them. Do you understand? While they are still in there, you can literally see that your vehicle is being taken somewhere else. Yeah, and as a leader, you see that this guy, and then you find that they are good at their job. That's the most painful one. Like they are the best employee, but they also have their own culture. When you sit in a meeting and you say, I think we need to produce 5 bags, then they say, no, I think just 6. They just 6. I think just 3 is okay. Everybody goes like, yeah, 3. You said 5. So that's yes. So that's the. So you have to. It doesn't mean that no one should ever question you. No, it doesn't mean no one should question you. But there's a way. Yeah.
And she was so respectful, we were so humble, but she was so respectful and so trustworthy. I've never had another person. But I'm also interested about how we manage making the environment. But then also have boundaries that regulate, nobody just can do all of the responsibilities. Even with family.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and I have said that, because I gave up last, it's on a WhatsApp group. And then, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is interesting. And that's what got my attention. Every time you write and you're describing one aspect of something and you cultivate a story and to make it relatable. And I said, there's a skill that I need to know how to do. Because I listen to the back and I feel like I don't speak in that process. But when it comes to your own organization, it's not that transferable. So there must be something else that you need to know.
Yeah.
Put those things in. I'm really glad to be here.
From what you said, it's very possible that those people might come and question or come to work with their own social values.
Yeah.
Just say since they have their own mission, they end up setting the boundaries of group.
Yeah.
But so it's important for them to realize that their values are aside. But if their values are coming to the line, usually values are covered in the house.
I think the challenge is you can't have the same vision and the mission of the organization and the same core value and then find yourself in pattern. It's very difficult. Because for you now you have got an extra feel like this is your lifestyle kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, I'm the right, and that's how that's how people must find jobs. That's the ideal way of finding a job. Finding a place where the vision, the mission, and the core values sit right with you. That's how you should find your job. But we usually find jobs because of money problems. So we overlook these things. You understand that? So when we get inside there, we want them to change to our standard. And then depending on how much of a hard head you are, is that you will be bumping into every single roadblock until you are fired. Do you understand that? But if you are a conformist, then you may find yourself while you are in there, allowing yourself to align with whatever is being asked. Now, there's an interesting one that I have loved. I'll share it. I think we can go back. Yeah.
Others, let's say, because everybody has something to offer. I think the thing is how you create a framework within which you're trying to function and do your best.
I think all of us, I think I'm happy because it's a little bit of too much. So I'm happy that we are actually getting the right point. That is what I'm trying to communicate. That there must be you must confine this conversation, this dreaming that everybody must have, and this innovativeness and openness and freedom and everything. You must create a confinement for it. Yeah, and that confinement is the vision. So the point is that whatever you do here must take us there. If it's not taking us there, go and do it somewhere else where it looks like where you are trying to go. Yeah. And that is so it shouldn't, that is why I'm saying the conversation strongly shouldn't be, this is my business. You can't do that in my business. No, it should be, this is the vision of the organization. And this is where we're trying to go, and you are actually going in another direction. So it's either you align to our direction or go somewhere else. Yeah. I'll give an example. So one of the things I like saying that I learned, I think, from somewhere now, I can't even remember where, is that my job as a CEO in the organization where I run is that initially I used to think I am the driver. Then when I learned that I am not the owner of the organizations, God is the owner of my organization. That is why he has given me a vision of where to take things from the problem that we have discovered. I then learned that God is the driver. Think of the minibus, a Zambian minibus. Are we together? Yeah, a minibus. There's a driver in front driving, and they're usually very dedicated to that driving. They are master, they are skillful. And then think of the bus conductor. We all know what they do, right? That's me right there as the CEO. I am the bus conductor in the organization. Now, what happens is this. When the bus is moving, it has got a destination, which is the vision in this case. And like I said, the wheels are the core values, and the bus itself is what? The mission. I am the conductor. God is the driver. I am the one that allows who jumps into the bus. Am I correct? Who gets into the bus? Where do they sit? And what is the result of where they are sitting? It is my responsibility as the bus conductor. So this is what I usually envision this as. If this was the bus, we stop at the bus station. I say, hi, how are you doing? We're looking for somebody who's going to be helping us to increase the number of our visibility and the number of sales that we get on a regular basis. So please come. You seem to be fitting the shoes. This is your seat. This seat is called Sales and Marketing Manager. They sit here. I'll be observing them because I've given them certain things to achieve. I'll come to that. I'll be observing them because I've given them certain ways they must behave while they are in this seat, while they are in this bus. There's a way they must behave. Now, while I observe this, if I realize that they are struggling with this, I begin to measure that. I begin to measure it based on their behavior, which is for the core values, that's the behavior, and also for the results, which is for performance. If these things don't align on a consistent basis, I've given targets, nothing. I've given this, nothing. I've given that, nothing. They are polluting the culture as well. I realize, I think, my friend, you have not managed to settle in this bus. Sometimes, back in the days, I used to be very lenient. I'd ask you to say, maybe move from this seat, maybe come and sit on this seat. If it's just a performance issue, if it's not a behavior or core value issue, it's just a performance issue, you are struggling. I can see that you are good at talking, but not selling. So maybe you need to be doing corporate affairs and not selling. So maybe move from here, come and sit on this seat. After a while, I noticed that, well, even on this seat, you're still struggling. I realized maybe you're not supposed to be on this bus because you seem to have more hype for football than it is for agriculture. So you can speak more on football, but not on agriculture. Maybe it's not this bus you're supposed to be on. My friend, we have stopped on this bus, or when we stop on that next bus stop, kindly, would you jump out? This is the only easy way I have learned on how to fire people, is that I don't think that I'm firing you. I just think that you don't fit in the bus, and I need to allow you to go and find another bus, because you will find another bus. You will find another bus. But can you get on the next bus? Maybe that's the one you are meant for. You understand? And I've seen it so many times that people have left the organizations that I run and have gone to other places and have actually thrived. So it was not about them, it was not about us. It's just that the two of us wasn't there. So you need to be comfortable to look at things from that perspective. And that's how I deal with it. So these are standard operations that help you operate the core values. Are you following me? You must do that for every core value. And you should only have 3 to 5 core values for simplicity. You can have 6, 7, quite all right, but it is easier to follow. It is easier to act when they are a little bit less. 3 to 5, very critical. You ask yourself a question, for us to be able to achieve the vision we need to achieve, how should we behave here? Our products need to be of good quality. All right, great, quality should be there. We also need to be very fast at producing these things because clients are walking in and are walking out and they're in a hurry. So quickness of being fast can be there. The one that you never want to leave out in this day and age is innovativeness, because things are changing at a fast pace. So you want to have that on a consistent basis. But you can also have others as well. You can have transparency, like we have in the other organization I run, we have transparency. And do you know what transparency looks like for us? Is that on a regular basis, we sit down and tell everybody how much money has been made, how much we have sold, how much we have gotten, and other things. How much was our profit? How much was our, and do you know why that is the case for us? Because of our beliefs. So our beliefs are represented in our core values. So everybody, when you see them, they begin to behave and look like the way we want them to behave and look like, which is now we say, oh, why are you thinking like me? Why? Because they are core values that are making us behave in the same way. Now, inside there, when the core values are set clearly, is then where we now ask you to be a superstar. Now, can you bring out your superpower within the confines of the core values? Is that clear? Bring out your superpower now. Do whatever you want, because we know we have put a rail that guides you on how to be to use your superpowers. It reminds me of a movie, X-Men, where, you know, one of the old ones, where there's the guy, I think, I don't know, the Cyclops. Yeah, I don't even know where I'm talking about, 2 movies or it's the same one, but he used to shoot laser, you know, and you know, if he does that, it could just like cut anything, you know. That's how it was. But he had to wear glasses, and those glasses would confine the laser from going around and even killing people who are his own friends. So the glasses in this case are the core value. Are you following me? Is that he used his laser in a controllable manner when he needed to, because of the glasses. When you remove them, it's just haphazardly happening. And that is how organizations, you wonder, how are you behaving like? Why are you doing this? Where did you get this behavior? Where did you get this action? Who told you to do this? It's because there was no core value to guide people, and there was no way of following through with it. Now, yes.
Can this core value change over time?
Yes, I mentioned, right? I said core values can change when you find that there's something missing. When you see in your organization, you put core values and people are following them, but there are still discrepancies in how things are being done. Ask yourself, what can solve that discrepancy? I gave an example. You run I use an example. I said you run I would say you run a fast food shop, you know, a beggar, you know, that trailer for beggars. So what you do there is people come, they pay, you you wrap the beggar, you pass it on. Now you have put in your core values. What have you put? You have said we're going to make right quality, you know, it's going to taste really great. Are you saying that? But you forgot to put quick, and people come to your truck at lunchtime. You understand that? So what happens is your 2 employees, they love food, but both of them. So they once in a while they start. Did you see how Chelsea won yesterday? Did you see what happened? The XY. Oh no, guys, where's my bag? Oh yeah. Sorry. But you know, I think if we buy Neymar, we will win this one now. Oh yeah. So when you come now, when clients are coming to he's like, guys, why are you slow, guys? Why are you slow? You are saying why are you slow? Because it doesn't exist in your core value. You have put maybe transparency there, which means these guys are transparent. They tell you, sir, right now, the beggars are actually costing higher than other places. They're telling you. They're being transparent. They are also communicative to you. They are also maybe helpful teamwork. So they work together. They're working together, right? This one gives the other one onion and stuff like that. That's working together. But it's working together very slow. You understand that? So you are getting touched that, look, why are you working together? But we're still slow. So you need, at the end of the year, to review, to come back. Guys, how did we do this year? What is the feedback from our clients? Clients are saying, lovely beggar, awesome beggar. And in fact, because you put customer care as one of the core values, these guys are so nice. Oh, sir, thank you very much. Yes. So they're like, lovely beggar, very sweet customer care, but they take long. Are you following me? They take so long to do anything. Means in your review, wow, you have to cover that. You have to deal with that. And how do you deal with that? You put a core value. And when you put a core value there, you say, quick, you must come and put it, standard of operations. These ones. Now I want you to write down some standard operation. I want you to write it down because I want you to put a star on it, because there's something that is going to come afterwards that will sound very, very, very similar. And I don't want it to confuse us. So standard operations, they come from, they're an expansion of our core values. Is that clear? All right. So now from the standard operations, which have the activity itself. So for every core value, there's an activity that you will do. There are the details of that activity. And we also have the number of times you will do it in a week, in a day, in a month, or how many times. Now, once you have done this with standard operations, you now then create KPIs, which now I'm going to differentiate again here. These are KPIs of the standard operations. I want us to take note of that again. That the KPI will come again somewhere else. But right now, the KPI I'm alluding to here is for standard of operations. The one we are from looking at before. So you put KPIs now, because we must measure that whatever we said we will be doing concerning the core values is being done. And this is where the pen is for a leader. Because to make sure that you have followed through, are you following me? To make sure that you have followed through, we said that we will be having, going out to do philanthropic work. We said it before, right? Now, did we go? Are you saying that? So the KPI for us is the number of different needs which is identified and addressed monthly. Prior here, we said we will do what? Support church and community causes. Are you saying that? What we will do, we will allocate resources and we will do that monthly. But on the other end, we are saying that here, how we will know that we are getting things done is we actually identified needs for certain places, and we went actually and addressed those issues, and that was done monthly. So we can even put a number there. Two of them, are you saying two needs? That's our KPI. Monthly, there's 2 needs. One for the community, one for the church. That's all. Am I communicating? I don't know. Bit lost, right? But did you get standard operations? Okay. So on the standard operations, when you have set them out, you need to then create what are called the KPIs for the standard operations. KPI simply meaning the key performance indicators. Are you saying? The key performance indicators, things that show you that you're actually doing what you said you'll be doing. And in this case, if you said in the core, there's a core value that says God fearing. And in the God fearing, you say that you will go out to help a church or the community once monthly. You will do that monthly. KPI then says that we should then find that we have identified 2 causes, one for the community, one for the church, and we should have gone out to handle them every month. Once. These 2 things must be done monthly. So if we have done that, that's our measurement. Now, when you are telling an employee, you tell them, so I'll be checking on you. You are the one in charge of us making sure that we are keeping this God-fearing issue. Are you seeing that? So every time I come back to you, I must find that this is where now, have you ever heard people in a gathering of a community social group, a welfare group, where one person is always complaining, I'm the only one who goes to look out for causes. I'm the only one who finds issues to deal with. I'm the only one who finds out every visit. It's because you are the only one who knows what to do. If you can put it here, to say, go and identify a cause, churches identified and address different needs. So you tell them, say, I need you to go and look for needs. Go and look for needs. And when I come back, I must find them. In the actual activities of the month, you can even agree now to say, this action, it should be done every first week. The identification first week. The doing third week. You can now go and do. Business is not just eating money. It must be prepared. You must take time as an owner to put these things together so that you can have a seamless growing institution. Here, what we're discussing is how to grow an institution, not how to just have a business. How not to work in, how to work on. Are you following me? If you have these things properly done, you don't have to work in. You can work on. So when you come now, you come and take to say,